Hello. Welcome back, everyone. We are here for the NFC South takeover. That includes the Saints, Panthers, Bucks, and Falcons.
Love it.
I am co-host Nicole Klychak, representing the Saints. And then we got Kyle Yacy, who is representing, of course, the Falcons. And we got lovely Sean Spencer representing and putting in a word for the Panthers. And sadly enough, we do have Andrew representing the Bucks as he is in hiatus for this week, but he, don't worry, is
He's on
still with
IR.
us.
Yeah.
Like
He's
he's on
quarterback.
IR lately.
Yes, so I hope we are ready to get this Wednesday going. We're going to start it off with the recap of what happened week 7. Let me hear what you guys have to say for your guys' teams. Let's start off with you, Kyle.
Sure. Yeah. So I had to eat a little piece of humble pie this week. I was very hopeful. We were on a win. We looked really good against the 49ers, and I had some hope. But unfortunately, we had a little bit of a reality check. And I'll be honest, the Bengals saw through our weaknesses. That's pretty much the short of it, to be quite honest with you. I'm not going to go and be one of those people that, are just going to blame it on injuries because, we did have injuries in a very crucial position, especially in that game. But with that being said, it's we have to rise up, right? We have to, play against those good teams well. And we have to try and do whatever we can do to beat those good teams to be a contender. But, we fell up short. It was 35-17, and not even to add insult to injury, but our whole cornerback, like literally our starting and our secondary cornerbacks were out. So real unfortunate. Thankfully, though, a lot of them are going to be coming back. I think only Casey Hayward is going to be on IR, so that's looking good. And then everybody else is pretty much day-to-day, week-to-week. So the benefit of that, I guess, at the very least, is that we do have a pretty deep cornerback pool. So I am pretty happy about that. But regardless, we fell short 35-17. So it's
do you still want the South?
We still want the South.
Wow.
Wow. You know what? I will say, whether you want to admit it or not, Nicole, I think right now we are the best looking team right now. Okay.
Wow.
So regardless of our injuries.
Did you guys take a win? Did you guys get a W this week? Because one team in this division took a W. That's all I'm saying.
Remind me, Sean, please.
Let's go.
L's all around, except for you.
Keep pounding, baby.
Well, I think that's a perfect segue to Sean. How did the Panthers do?
Yeah, take it away. Take it away, Commander Panther.
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be very honest with you. I went into this game with very low expectations, okay? I understand the struggles of Tom Brady. He's yelling at his O-line. There's no tablet that's safe around him because he's going to smash it. We know what Tom Brady is. He's the GOAT, 7 rings, all that stuff. But one thing that he could not do this week is he could not take the Panthers down. And you know who the other quarterback was? Was it Baker? No.
It wasn't.
Nope.
Was it Sam Darnold? No. Was it Cam Newton?
No, it wasn't.
PJ, Mr. XFL, run by the WWE Walker. He did his thing. 16 of 22, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, ladies and gentlemen. But this game was not won there. This game was won on the ground. We're going to talk about why I was so surprised that it was won on the ground at all because of the fact that somebody left or we traded them away. But 2 other guys stepped up. We signed Donta Foreman and we had Chuba Hubbard. Between them, they had over 180 yards combined. I mean, we dominated the running game. We kept Tom Brady off the field, and we got a huge win. And I'm going to tell you this. Even after the win, I was like, did we just do that? Like,
yeah.
Like for real? But there's some serious problems going on in Tampa. Ben, I don't know if you're still in the comments. I sent you the link if you want to talk about your team. But, yeah, we definitely got a much-needed victory. I don't know if it's something that we can really jump on and be Excited because it's a great victory, but I don't know if it's something we could really build on because we still have a lot of issues. But we'll see, man. It was a great game, and we needed it. Divisional game. There we go.
So what do you think about Tampa, though? I guess since we don't have anybody in Tampa in here, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
Kate has some comments. She, I know, is a Bucks fan. What do you got, Kate?
Right. Oh, sorry, Sean.
No, I was gonna say at the end of the day, look, we know the issues. I mean, we all saw the videos of Tom Brady just yelling on his linemen and getting on them and everything like that. And if that's your cup of tea, okay, fine. For me, not really. But at the same time, then this week he plays terrible, and you go back and look at like the reports. Obviously, we know he has been dealing with the divorce, and he needs to be focused on taking care of his family life for sure. But then even on the top of that, over the weekend, he's over at Robert Kraft's wedding. This isn't even your owner anymore. I understand you guys are buddies and everything from New England, but you have a football team to lead on the field. Like, you got a lot of these guys that came to play specifically in Tampa Bay to be with you, and you're out here you can just show up whenever you want to. Look, it's led by him. Yeah, we'll see what happens in the future. But there's got to be a certain point where the Buccaneers are like, look, I get your Tom Brady, bro, but we need you here.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I wonder, because as far as I know, like, Tom Brady hasn't had many seasons where he's had, like, a bad record per se, right? I think in total, and Ben or anybody in the comment section can quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure they only had 2 losing seasons between the New England Patriots and Tampa Bay Buccaneers where Tom Brady was playing. So that's a lot to be said about him, but I don't honestly know if Tom Brady's ever been benched, but maybe that's the time to do so. Like, as an organization, and I can't even just speak about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but, if it was any of our divisions, like whether it's, the Panthers, the Falcons, or even the Commanders for that matter, right? If you are going to show that kind of attitude and just, I guess, that much carelessness for the team, as an organization, I think personally you should, send a message. Maybe you should bench Tom Brady. Maybe you should show that Mr. Tom Brady, sorry, you know what, you are, you're one of the franchise guys, whatever, but you're not above the team. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm surprised. He is one that has Drew Brees beat in I think it's like overall top 5 quarterbacks of how many yardage throws that they've had in their career, and he surpassed Drew Brees. So he's got a title for sure for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know. You're not above the team though. I still can't like disagree with that. Like, it looks sour, right? It's like you're just gonna let him do whatever he wants to do. Like, I get it. You're the guy. You're the GOAT. You're the greatest of all time. But at the same time, like, you're not gonna be here forever. So
right.
I'm just saying, like, at that point, whether it's one game, I know one game can make or break your season if you're gonna make the playoffs or not. But what's that saying to the rest of the Buccaneers, to be quite honest with you, that, we can just do whatever we want and that's the kind of behavior that we're just going to tolerate? Because I'm just saying, if it happened on the Falcons, I would say the exact same thing.
I would just say for like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's great to have the spotlight on a team. Everyone loves a good spotlight on the team, but I know as a team member, it does kind of suck in a different light for, like, what about the other seasons and stuff. But yeah, that was a tough game against division also too, with the Panthers, giving them a little bit more bite.
I like that.
Thank you.
I do feel though that Tampa Bay is going to be a force to reckon with, because there's still a lot of weeks left.
Yeah,
I'm not sold though, Nicole. I'll be honest, I'm not sold. I think maybe potentially in this season, sure, but Andrew Faber, he's actually outlined it pretty well. And the thing is there's a lot of players that they need to sign contracts, and that's the thing. Is Tampa Bay, when they signed Tom Brady, they went all in. They went win now, right? So with that being said, you know, you're going to have a lot, especially on the defensive side, you're going to have a lot of contracts coming up that you're not going to be able to sign. And they fully know, you know, Ben Cornette, Andrew Faubert, like, quote me on this in the comments if you want, but they're not going to be able to sign all these players. They're not going to be able to sign Devin White. You know, they're not going to be able to sign these wide receivers. So the team is going to look different. So what are you going to do?
Yeah. Hey, Alec, I think I have to discover that next weekend about salaries and caps and contracts.
Oh yeah.
I have no idea about this, but I will learn and do a little research because it seems to be a very huge strategy. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's a big deal. But as far as the season, look, we've seen the struggles, and we know what the record is. At the end of the day, Tom Brady still has, you know, over 1,900 passing yards, 8 TDs, and only 1 interception. Tom is still playing. Things it's not working all the way around. At the end of the day, though, this loss and this isn't to Aaron Rodgers. This isn't to Kansas City or Buffalo. This is to one of the worst teams in the league and a divisional opponent at that. So, hey, you got to get something figured out, Tom, because it's not looking good, man. But go ahead, Nicole. What you saying?
No, I think you said it pretty perfectly. And I do got some good questions later on that might address some of the issues that's been going on.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, so I guess with my recap, yes, I ate an L, and it was Thursday night. But let's just say, as I've always said before, the Saints are always down to entertain you. I mean, I was joking with Ashley for my fantasy team, and I got a little nervous and went back to my comfort zone, which meant picking up Andy Dalton and like basically any and all Saints players and putting them on my fantasy team, and I won for the first time. So
let's go.
Yeah. We started out strong. Shaheed, first like 2 minutes of the start of the game, we get a touchdown, and I'm like, let's go.
Right.
And there was one play where I did start to see a little bit of good chest movements where they lined up all 3 of the wide receivers, one behind another, and ended up making a play with Taysom Hill actually throwing as the QB to Kamara, which was the third lined up receiver for a first down when they were 2 and 5 yards away. So I like that play. I thought that was pretty cool. I feel like Kamara and Hill are healthy again. He's breaking tackles. I don't like Ingram on the other team. I realized that they have an Ingram. And he was making plays and some points. Did not like that part. We didn't even attempt a 2-point conversion. I think we were a little bit nervous, but I was just like, I'm ready. I'm here for it. It's Thursday. We were pretty close points away. So it shows a little bit. I don't know if we're that confident, there was that confidence there. At half, we were 14-28. I don't like Murray. They made plays that looked very similar where we broke down and then they capitalized on that, making it a 34-42. We were 6 points away, which is 1 interception.
Wow.
That's all I got to say.
Well, let's talk about the 1 minute left in the first half, right? Like, to be honest with you, I agree with you. I watched actually quite a bit of that game, more than I thought I was going to. And up until that point, I honestly thought, yes, you know what? We got the Saints. Saints are going to win it. You know, I had money on this game, and, you know, that's honestly all it takes. It just takes to throw 2 interceptions back to back. To then lose a game.
Well, and you know that I was talking about this week in, week out about our turnover ratio. You know, we've been number 1 for the worst for, I'd say, probably about 4 weeks straight. We have a total of 16 turnovers. That's almost 2.1, like I was telling you guys. So that is our struggle. That is our bread and butter. Let's just call it a turnover ratio. But yeah, so that brings the end to that segment for our recap. Let's wash away that week. You may be celebrating, but
I am
let's
celebrating.
forget
Yes.
about it, Kyle.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
And let's reflect still about it. Let's go around with our studs and duds of the game, and I'll start with you, Kyle, again. Who are your
Yeah, that was
studs?
actually it's a little hard this week, Nicole. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Mhm.
I there's a lot I could pick apart about this game. A lot that wasn't good, to be quite honest with you. I'm gonna go reverse. I'm actually gonna start with my dud before I go with my stud. I've said it before. It's gonna be Kyle Pitts again. There was a lot that was bad this week, but it's really tough because you're not really sure what the Atlanta Falcons should do in this direction. Like we have multiple tight ends in our roster, right? We have Anthony Fursker, we have Kyle Pitts, Parker Hesse, and stuff like that. And to be quite honest with you, like especially with drafting 4th overall Kyle Pitts, like he's not much better than the guys that are playing that were picked in like the 6th or 7th rounds, right? So he's not living up to the expectations. So I think personally, and clip this if you want. It's time to kind of get off the fact that he is the unicorn. He might have a blowout season. He might. But I'm more so just, looking at a consecutive tight end that, I want him to at least do what he's supposed to do in that position. I want him to move around in the middle of the field. I want him to, block when he's supposed to block and stuff like that at the very least. Could we have done better? Maybe, but at the same time, at least our tight end is playing the tight end position, and that's all I really can ask. So overall, he's had 1 touchdown. I think he only got 9 passing yards in that game. It's unfortunate, but he definitely is going to be my dud. My stud is probably going to be Marcus Mariota. Again, he week in and week out. Yeah, Alex said it the best. It's nice to have a mobile quarterback, to be quite honest with you. It's something that I really haven't seen in like a long time, and I'm getting a little bit spoiled with it this season for sure, considering even with Matt Ryan getting benched this week, right, with Indianapolis Colts.
Was he for you? He was with you guys, right?
Matt Ryan? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah, he was with us for a while.
He was with Atlanta.
Yeah, he was there. But yeah, Mariota's been doing really well. I said it last week. I don't want to get blindsided and think that he's going to be the answer, but he's definitely a really good addition right now until we figure out what we're going to be doing with our quarterback pool. But I'm going to give him the star this week for sure. He's probably the only reason why we even had a chance in that game.
It's not what I said last week about him, was it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Sean?
Yeah,
what
for
you got
me,
for the Panthers, yeah.
For me, my stud is the whole team because we beat Tampa Bay. I feel great. Everybody gets it. No, for me, my stud has to be my running backs: Dante Foreman, Chuba Hubbard. Dante had over 100 and over 100 yards on the ground. Chuba had 63, but both of them had over 7 yards a carry. That means each time we're touching the ball, we're getting solid gains. And that was huge because the number one thing I said, the only way we were going to beat Tom Brady was to keep him off the field, continually running that ball, especially with the loss that we took, which was a major loss. Being able to run that ball is a huge thing. And it kind of hid any of the, faults or shortcomings of PJ Walker. So definitely was great. Definitely the team went behind Chuba Hubbard and Dante Foreman. So those are my studs. My duds, we know Robbie Anderson got traded. And shout out to DJ Moore. DJ Moore did everything he could do with 7 catches for almost 70 yards. But that's it. There is nobody else that had over 2 receptions on the team. We had no real passing game. I mean, PJ only had 177 yards, but our receivers were my duds. I understand. Look, we were 1-5 coming into this game, so we're only 2-5, and this is, a great victory and everything like that. And I'm not gonna overlook all the issues that we do have. So this is going to be interesting because we can't just rely on DJ Moore to do it all. So I need my receivers, Terrence Marshall, Tremble, them kind of guys, Laviscus Chenault. My guy, I need these guys to show up. So right now, the wide receivers for Carolina are my duds.
Do you think, Sean, with everything that's been going on with Carolina, and I think it's pretty safe to say now that it is a full rebuild at this point, right? Mm-hmm. Do they keep DJ Moore, and is it viable going forward in the future? And then I guess on top of that, what do you get if you are considering trading DJ Moore?
Right. Well, and that's the thing. That's why I think you do keep him, because let's be honest. I don't know that you get a first rounder. I mean, maybe you get like a second round, or maybe you get help down the line. But yeah, right. Exactly. So is it beneficial? Because you got to think about pieces. Look, we already know we're going to talk about it. CMC got traded to San Francisco. Robbie Anderson got traded to Arizona. But then they also, people were calling to ask about our stud defensive lineman, Brian Burns.
Yeah.
And there was talks that there was 2 first-round picks on the table to get him. And we denied that. So there is something to be said for keeping pieces. You know what I mean? Keeping foundational pieces. And I think between DJ Moore and Brian Burns, I think they are foundational pieces. So I think if you're going to try to work this out any way you can, you got to keep something. And those are pieces that can definitely help you. Yes.
I don't know. Jason. I think it's foolish, man. I think I get 2 first-round picks, though.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what? I get it. You're trying to build a team. Brian Burns is definitely he's a playmaker, right? He's really good on the defense. He's definitely one of the solid pieces there. But was it 2 2023 first round picks? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. That seems kind of foolish in my opinion, because there's a lot of teams that you're not a lot of players, even for that matter, where you're not going to get 2 first round picks.
Exactly.
So
how many rounds are there?
Sorry?
7.
Oh, okay.
7 yeah.
Okay.
So first round has super, super value. And we're talking from the end of first round to the beginning of the second round. That gap and what these guys get paid is astronomical. So if you get in the first round, you're getting some money.
That makes so much more sense. And this just blew my mind, because now I understand.
Discovery.
Okay.
Nicole, I want you to elaborate a bit. Please do.
Yes.
This touches back on my other discovery that I'm going to do coming up here about now I understand some people who get drafted 6th draft. Yeah. Okay, cool. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm blown away. I lost my train of thought.
I love it. Who are your studs and duds? Who do you have?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I've been picking some themes. I've had some kickers, and my theme kind of coming around a little bit is I'm going to talk about linebackers. Okay. I'm going to talk about my stud, Demario Davis. He's number 56. So far, he has solo tackles of 23. He's had 5 sacks. So he's been eating lunch. 1 against the Panthers, 1 against the Bucks.
Thanks.
Got Tom Brady. 2 against Burrows to hold that over,
go ahead. You guys all get a week. You guys get a week.
Let's go.
And 1 against the Cardinals. So this guy, he's a production. He's the full cast. This is huge because with sacks, it's normally a loss of yards with the other team's offense, which can be the difference between winning a game or not.
He's the cat's meow.
And he's a team captain. He only missed 1 game and played 160 regular seasons contests with 146 starts for the Saints, Jets, and Browns. Wow. So he's a dedicated person, and I guess he's been healthy because he only missed 1 game.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that.
I could go on and on with him, but there is some kind of cool thing I learned about him is the Dining with Davies is an event at A.L. Davis Park and in Kenner, where they served a sit-down dinner to select local residents. The event was designed to promote and encourage family dinner time. Davis enlisted teammates in November for his first annual Dining for Dreams. So it's a celebrity waiter dinner event to raise money for the foundation as well as for Hurricane Ida reliefs for the locally.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so he's my spotlight. For my duds, obviously, I think you guys know who it's going to be is Andy Dalton.
Oh, wow. Why? I'm curious. Can you
The
please
highs and the
elaborate?
lows. The 2 interceptions, maybe that, kind of turned into touchdowns.
Yeah.
But I do have to say, one of the interceptions I was looking at was thrown good, but to Callaway, the receiver, who deflected it off his body and into someone else. And that raised a good question maybe for you guys is how do interceptions weigh on quarterbacks versus wide receivers? Even though I feel like the QB gets because this is my dud, right? So how much does that responsibility weigh on one another? Because one was clearly a little bit weight on the receiver, but I still heard a lot of fuss about is just Andy Dalton.
Do you want me to go first, Sean?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to use an example from a previous game actually this week. Did anybody catch, the rest of the Tampa Bay and Carolina game with what Mike Evans did?
I saw him talking to the refs after the game.
Okay.
So
Tom Brady launched.
I saw that. I saw that too.
Must be a Tampa Bay thing. Not just
yeah.
So Tom Brady threw a long bomb to Mike Evans, right? And it was honestly, it was probably one of the best throws of the game. Mike Evans didn't catch it. What he did is he fumbled it in his hands and he dropped it. Okay. So I guess to revert the question back to kind of before I go on, does that make it a bad throw or is that a bad catch? To me, it's not a catch, obviously, but that's on the receiver then, right?
Yeah.
You placed it right into his hands, but he can't catch it. So in my opinion, Nicole, I think it's really dependent. Now, it's kind of tough because it could fall on the quarterback if there's a better throw, right? So again, I'm not sitting there on the sidelines analyzing, what targets are there, when Andy Dalton could throw, right? But, potentially if there's a better target, then yeah, like Andy Dalton maybe could have thrown to a better target. Maybe it's a better idea. But if I'm going to be completely transparent, if I was giving it my honest analysis, the wide receiver's job is to catch the ball. Simple as that. You know what I mean? If you get it anywhere in the vicinity of the wide receiver, it is his job to catch the ball. Now, not every throw is going to be a spiral. Not every throw is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But your job as the wide receiver, which is pretty much your only job besides, running a route, is to catch the ball. The quarterback has a lot to do. The quarterback is always on his toes, and he's controlling the play. So honestly, in that particular scenario, I think that particular interception would be on the wide receiver.
Yeah,
cool.
I know. I absolutely agree. I mean, you'll see throws where the quarterback will throw it, and you're like, where were you even throwing it? I mean, example, Super Bowl 30, the Cowboys played the Steelers. Neil O'Donnell's trying to come back in this game with the Steelers, and he throws 2 interceptions to Larry Brown, and there was no Steelers receivers anywhere near. That's on the quarterback. But in these situations where it hits the receivers, just like Kyle said, you have one job: catch the ball. It hit them right in their hands, and it bounced off. I think that's on the receiver. A lot of people will joke about, it hit the guy in this worst possible place in his hands, because it's the joke that, you should be catching it. You teach the kids to catch with your hands and not, don't let the ball hit your chest, because if it hits your pad, that might then cause it to bounce off.
So I never thought about that.
Yeah, so you want to hit it. You want to definitely catch it with your hands, or at least slow it down so you'll be able to control it that way. So when it gets into the wide receiver hands and then it bounces off, that's on the wide receiver. That's all. I mean, and you could say maybe it was too fast. Maybe, it was, behind this, and that. But if it gets in the hands, from an old coach, I used to coach Little League, and you just tell, if it touches your hands, what excuse do you have? You had a shot. This is what you're here for. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, I'm learning lots tonight. This is good. So I guess we're going to move on into our next segment, where we are a group of individuals loving the NFC South. And yes, we got to be humble to each other. So in this round. We're going to give some humble bites of piece of pie to another team. And again, I'm going to go clockwise and hit it off with Kyle.
Sure. Yeah, you know what? You mentioned earlier, Sean, about PJ Walker and how he had a hell of a game. Honestly, I'm going to give it to my Be Humble this week is going to be for Ikem Ekwonu. So Ikem Ekwonu, for those that don't know, that which it did honestly contribute to the Panthers win this week. He only allowed for one pressure throughout the whole entire game. And, you know, when you can have that kind of role where, you know, you're protecting your quarterback and you're giving him time to throw, it doesn't matter how good of a quarterback you are. The fact that you have time and that you can give people the space to move around and stuff like that, that is what helps like make those plays, honestly. So yeah, he's definitely the humble pie this week. You know, I'm taking a big old slab of Ikem Ekwonu this week. So he did his job, and you know, he's balling out this season. He's, for a rookie, he's showing up, and you're keeping him when that rebuilding goes. So you're going to see him a long, long, long time.
Good pick. I like that. That was a great pick.
Nice.
I like that. Nicole, if you don't mind, for my Be Humble, I'm going to bring in. Sometimes when we win, we like to just console those that lost. I'm going to bring in a Buccaneers fan and I'm trying to put my arm around you, Ben. I hope all is well. You know, we held you 3 points. Man, are you okay? I'm trying to rub your back over here, buddy. Are you all right, man? You lost to us, so what's up, buddy?
You got a pouty face, man.
Do I what?
You have your pouty face on. What's going on, big guy?
You know what's going on, Kyle. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right, man.
How's everybody doing tonight, actually?
I'm getting over my sickness. I don't know if anybody can tell. I've been fighting this cold for.
We're all eating L's.
Right?
Sean's enjoying this.
Not all
a great night.
Keep pounding, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. Just give it to me, dude.
In which way do you want it?
We lost CMC.
Oh,
Robbie Anderson cussed out our coach.
We got we got that Jason guy creeping around in our comments.
Yeah, careful.
Be careful.
Don't give him ammunition.
Right? Oh, Yo, so real quick, to stay with the segment, Be Humble, my pick is going up to our host for the day, the Saints. I know they did catch an L, and I'm sorry for that. You can't all be like the Panthers. But you have a guy that I'm starting on my fantasy league. Actually, during the draft, I went to New Orleans with my fiance. We went to Jazz Fest. So while we were there, we were at a Carl Frisk broil and everything. Washington had the number 11th pick, traded with the New Orleans Saints.
I remember that.
You guys picked up this guy, Chris Olave. So I feel like I am forever connected to him. I picked him up on my fantasy team. This week, he had 7 receptions, 106 yards, including a 41-yard deep ball along that he got. And on 14 targets, he's getting attention. He's getting love. I love what he's doing. He's doing great things for my fantasy, so definitely love that. But he's solid. And look, a lot of times you don't know if these college receivers are going to come into the NFL and be able to have that same type of success. But he's having it. And to your point about your dud being Andy Dalton, we don't know who the quarterback is. Is it going to be Jameis? Is it going to be Taysom? Is it going to be Andy? He's still getting it done week in and week out, getting at least a couple catches, at least 4 catches in each of the last 5 games. So, shout out to Mike. Sounds like your guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, our QB position's a little bit like a Mario Party, game block. We don't know really where we're gonna go.
Right.
I like that. You roll it too.
That's great.
Ben, I know you're joining us here. I mean, it's hard. Are you okay with being humble?
Yeah, got it.
I mean, you're humble enough to be even here, so thank you for showing up.
Love
I
it.
appreciate
That's
it.
good.
You know, like I know Andrew's busy and stuff, so I thought I'll sneak by. Sean invited me.
Always busy. Always
Keep
busy. Right?
pounding, Ben. Keep pounding, buddy.
Ben, you're
All
always
right, I'll be-
welcome. I want you to know that every week.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yes.
And ladies, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna be humble. I mean, look, Carolina, they did what they did. You know, we have no excuses. You know, PJ Walker was made to look like Steve McNair that day.
Yes, he did.
By our Bucs defense. And Mike Evans, I knew when he dropped that pass, I was like, oh boy, this might be a long, long day, because those are this is the first play of the game, guys. You got to keep in mind. That was like the very first play of the game.
I didn't know that was the first play.
When you usually see something like that, you just think bad things, because that's a momentum changer. Like if you should have caught that. You're up a touchdown. Like, okay, now you can go to work. But man, when you drop a pass like that, and then you saw how it unraveled. Like it just hurt. You know, it was just frustrating, disappointing, especially 2 weeks in a row now that we've lost to bad teams. I mean, teams we should be beating, but we lost to them. And I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now. I don't want to go all night on it, but it's just on a short week, this could be really bad, because now we get several injuries. You know, we got our secondary is going to be out. A couple more injuries. Julio might be out. I mean, that wouldn't be surprising, but
Julio
not shocking. Like I told everybody.
Yes.
Everybody, we got Russell Gage, Julio Jones. That's fantastic. They're not going to play. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
might as well have Calvin Ridley. Like,
Thanks, Kyle.
Ben, you know,
your leftovers there. I mean, the Ravens Thursday night. I mean, this could go one or two ways. Either they blow us out or we blow them out. That's how I look at the game. I don't see a close game.
Yeah, will this be the first time, if Tom Brady loses? Will this be the first time that he's lost 3 in a row?
Ooh.
I think it is.
I'm sure he's had some days, man.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know why I remember that, but I feel like that might be the first. This might be the first time in history since Tom Brady's played where they have lost 3 consecutive games.
Wow.
And honestly, I don't want to shoot any shade on the Bucs, but I don't have the Bucs winning the next game. I'm going to be completely transparent.
I'm going to be honest with you too. I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't done my picks yet, but I don't have them winning tomorrow night. It's just a lot of it's injuries, because our secondary, like Carlton Davis, Winfield, they're all out. So, you know, if Lamar Jackson, if we can't get to him early and he throws the ball, I mean, that could be
rough. It's going to be rough. Because it's like you said, like we're not great. Like I'm not going to even sit here and try to sugarcoat it. We're pretty bad. And for that to happen, but not only us, but then you go back to the week before, the daggone Steelers aren't great either. You know, they got a bunch of issues.
Well, they had injuries, Sean. They had injuries in their secondary. And I'm just thinking, what's going on with the play calling? Why are we not getting Mike Evans involved? He had 4 targets. Right. That's it in that game. That was frustrating, man.
I bet, man. I do agree. I think it is a lot of the coaching. I'll be honest with you. Like it is weird to see. It's not something that I've been accustomed to in the last couple of years, at least. So,
right.
Well, that is some definite be humble pie being passed around. Close. October. What could you say for the NFC South division? Can't wait for November. That's for sure. So listen. We got a bunch of great shows. I know that today is a Wednesday. Yesterday was a Tuesday. That also had some really great shows brought to you by the Let's Talk Football group, produced by Sean Spencer and Janae. So I would like to share with you guys some of the other shows that you guys can tune into and learn and listen and discuss some other Let's Talk Football. Nice. And as you could see, lovely Sean Spencer was also too on a show before us talking about his Commanders and how they did. So that's why the hat is so close.
I take credit
Nice.
for that because I picked against him the last 2 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah,
Keep
no
doing
kidding.
that, Ben. Keep going, Ben.
If only I worked for Atlanta too. You know what? Like, here's the thing, Sean. This is what I was gonna say. Not to cut you off, Nicole, but you know what? You're right now in a very similar situation that the Atlanta Falcons were in. Okay, listen. You got your W, man, and you played a really good team for the most part. You did. Green Bay Packers aren't a joke. Okay, I know we're diverging from the NFC South, but hear me out. Is this reality though? You know what I mean? Is it going to continue and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's not. No, it's not. We'll find out. It's not. We can't. Heineke is Heineke. He's got his limitations. He played crap. He was like terrible in the first half. We almost gave them the first half. So we'll find out. But I'm not. This is fool's gold. This is just like that. This is just like getting excited for the Panthers game. It's just like, no, what? We know what happened. We still. We'll talk about why we know what's going to happen.
Well, I guess with that transition, I'm happy. I'm sure Ben's happy. I'm also sure that Nicole is happy that CMC is finally out of our league. Like,
yes, I did not know who CMC was until he was out of our league.
Nicole, are you serious?
Yes.
You guys been an absolute like.
I've been so focused on my Saints. I didn't know.
So good.
Kyle, Nicole's got a good point. I mean, he's always been injured.
Yeah.
How can you focus on somebody
That's true.
not always been there on the field?
But it's like when he's there, man. Like, it's unbelievable how much points he produces. Like, it's disgusting. Like, the guy runs.
There was an exchange. So they exchanged him for a second, third, and fourth round pick in the 2023 NFL draft and a fifth round pick in the 2024 NFL draft.
Yeah, the Panthers won that pick.
That goes along with the trade, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good pickup, honestly. Especially it's a really smart move because sure, I know people would have wanted a first round pick, for CMC, and absolutely he probably would have deserved one in all honesty if he was healthy. But especially when you're going into a full rebuild, that's value. And I'll tell you right now, and I'm sure most of us can agree with this, don't expect them to keep all those picks because they're going to trade some of them for higher picks.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. But look, let's be honest about this, all right? Because I almost feel like, and Kyle, you understand this is kind of like Julio in the later years.
Yep.
I mean,
absolutely.
How long are we going to live off those first couple of years where, yes, he was amazing, but once he got hurt, he just hasn't been able to be on the field enough for us to really be like, is this guy that we know how great he was in the past? Like, because right now, yes, he was good when he came in, but you saw when he was with us, he is just breaking over 100 yards. We saw what happened when he went with the 49ers. He's getting in there. One ball to go around, a lot of mouths to feed. But it's when he first got in the league, yes, he's a number one pick. Absolutely. You can trade number one picks for him, all this stuff. But now it's kind of like now that that he's maybe 75% healthy at best all the time, like he's never really up to that 100% consistently. Those picks seem kind of right. It's more of the bulk and the amount of picks than the actual big blockbuster pick because he's not that guy anymore. At least he hasn't shown it because he hasn't been able to be on the field to show it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, you even mentioned it yourself, like, are we seeing a Julio? Actually, I'm going to transition this to another point. Is I would almost even say is it kind of like Jalen Hurts? You know what I mean? Is Jalen Hurts, right now this season of what Julio and CMC were at the hype of their season? You know what I mean? Like, it baffles me. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to take away any credit from like the Philadelphia Eagles right now. They're having a fantastic start to the season, and it's probably going to continue for a little bit longer still. But like, people can't get just blindsided by one good season. Like, I get it. You know what? Like, players ball out season, and there's obviously teams that have players that are going to be like shining stars on certain like years, right? But is that going to translate to many years to come down the line? And that's the question mark, because Julio realistically only had roughly maybe about 3 good seasons Like, honestly, same with CMC when he wasn't injured, right? Like, are we seeing the same thing going to happen with Jalen Hurts too? Like, I don't know, potentially, right? But it's just something to kind of keep into consideration when like people do have breakout seasons. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on it, though. But
Ben, how do you feel about CMC and him going to 49ers?
Well, I mean, I think for the Niners, they needed that running back, and now what's good for McCaffrey is he's not going to have the bulk of the carries. They were running him into the ground in Carolina, and now in San Francisco, they're playing a more West Coast style. So, you got Deebo Samuel, wide receiver / running back hybrid, and they're going to use him for some plays, and McCaffrey doesn't have to do as much. He's still going to get some carries, but he's going to a team now where it's a playoff team and potentially, maybe, if they can stay healthy, a Super Bowl team. Now, that depends on the quarterback play. We all know Garoppolo's not the best quarterback out there, in my opinion. But as far as McCaffrey goes, I mean, it's a good landing spot for him. He's, going to have a chance to contend, and he's not going to, have to carry the load, no pun intended.
Mm-hmm.
So now, as far as the Panthers go, I mean, you got to do it. I mean, you're rebuilding. I mean, it's just time, and I mean, I could see more trades coming. And I mentioned in the comments, like, Brian Burns is somebody I would not want to trade, but that's a hell of a bargaining chip because teams will give up a first rounder for him. And you got to wonder
too.
It could, yeah. And you got to wonder, guys and ladies, Carolina, what do they do in this situation? Do you want to get a first rounder? I mean, you could with Brian Burns. I mean, it's really tempting, but at the same time, you got to build something around, have somebody to build around. And so it's kind of a tough dilemma, but they do got some picks right now, so they're trending in the right direction, but we'll see. I mean, they need a lot of things to have happen right now. It's full rebuild, guys.
Right. And you got let's be honest. Like, I mean, the way that this team has been playing, I'm not expecting these guys to get out of the top 10 as far as draft picks. You know what I mean? So they're going to get a high pick, and maybe it is you get your high pick, that's your quarterback or whatever position you're going to focus on. And then for the rest, it is about quantity, getting the right picks. The more we have, getting, something like that. So we'll see. We know the owner wants to win now, but then again, you also bring in Matt Rule, give him all that money, and bring in Sam Darnold and Baker and all this. So let's see what happens going forward. But this is go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Real quick, you mentioned earlier about maybe using those picks to trade for something.
Yeah,
right.
Maybe they can trade for not a draft pick, higher draft pick, but like a free agent or something, a quarterback, something. Because like you said, David Tepper wants to win now.
Oh yeah.
So he wants to get ahead of the curve here, but so they could do both. Who knows?
Yeah.
I would love to see a new spicy player in the NFC South.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Keep telling me, baby.
So much confidence, Nicole. I loved it.
Let's go. It's a very entertaining league. You never know what's going to happen week after week.
It's been eventful this year. Yeah, like I honestly I don't even know what to predict at this point with the NFC South. It's it's like an ex-wife looking for alimony. Like honestly, like
it's like a track race. You're so tired, somebody's stumbling to the finish line, and like whoever gets up has that last bit of energy is gonna make it, like reach to their hand right to that ribbon right there,
right to the end.
Like Nick Cannon's Love Life.
No, he might have another one coming.
I don't know.
Hey, all I know is we want the South.
Oh,
you don't.
We love the South.
Not really.
No, we got it. Okay,
right? It's like no.
Brady's gonna make a comeback and win a couple games on accident. We'll be
I do have to say, on an end note of this EMC trade, I didn't know that his father actually played for the Denver Broncos back in the day.
Ed McCaffrey,
yeah.
He's got a brother too, right? I'm pretty sure CMC's got a brother.
His whole family's a little dibble-dabbled in a lot of sports, so very...
So the crazy part about this whole situation is his father CMC's father played for the Broncos. The coach of the Broncos at the time was Shanahan, with Mike Shanahan. He is the father of Kyle Shanahan. And the joke that was made that he said, what did you tell CMC when he came? He said, we meant to not draft you when you came up in the draft because we had to build a defense so that we can eventually get you later down the line. Now, obviously, they didn't expect all that to happen, but it was just a funny story because the father coached the father and now the son and the son. So, I think that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That is sweet.
Cool. Yeah.
Sweet note to hit it off on. CMC, we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. I guess this brings us to our next segment of a lot of answers that we're going to discover in our next segment, Discoveries. Yes. If you don't know, you will know. Yes. Here in the Discoveries, I got a big one. I mean, I've been having my mind blown for weeks on weeks from learning a bunch about football. But Sean, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, Sean, on the spot.
Hey, on the spot.
Ben, I apologize for this one, but it's a genuine discovery.
Okay.
Honestly, you know about the upsets. You know about the team being so amazing. In college, there's like in Alabama, and then it's like the Pee Wee Pipsqueak school. You know what I mean? In the NFL, I mean, most teams, they're all professional. They all get paid, but there are some teams that are clearly better than other teams. And we are clearly a dumpster fire. When you saw that whole Robbie Anderson thing, cussing out the coach, and then we trade CMC midweek, it's just like we've clearly said we're giving up on this year. But then to have, ex-XFL quarterback lead us with two backup running backs and do it, my discovery is that I didn't realize. I knew there's underdogs, but I didn't realize that sometimes it just depends on that day. Sometimes you wake up and it's just like today's just our day. Like I don't know. I mean, it was my day because Ben picked against us, my Washington, so we won there too. So sometimes I wake up and just say, it's my day. But I don't know. I didn't know that. I know that there's underdogs, and I know you can galvanize your team and get them all together to play. But when there's so much wrong, like none of us picked, and none of us even pretended to pick the Panthers winning that game last week. So it's crazy to see that happen. Shout out to him. But yeah, that's something that I didn't believe could happen at all. So something I discovered in a good way.
Nice.
I love it.
Ben, what did you discover?
Well, to be honest, again, I'm just hopping on the show.
Yes.
And I'm thinking of this here. Todd Bowles as head coach. I discovered that he hasn't won more. He's only had a winning streak of 3 or more games once in his
career. Okay.
Because he was with the Jets. Obviously, he had a 5-game winning streak back in 2015, I believe it was. So,
okay.
That's the discovery I just found. And that's really interesting because, things are not going good for us right now. And, you just got to wonder, like, is, what I take that back, 2017. He had a 3-game winning streak. But that's it. He hasn't had a lot of winning streaks, and we could use one really bad right now. I thought maybe the Carolina and the Pittsburgh game would, the Falcons, sorry, Kyle, would get us back on track, but it just hasn't. And I'm really hoping now we could use that winning streak. I mean, but the Ravens are coming up. The Rams are coming up. The Seahawks, all of a sudden, great team. No, not good team in Germany. So now time for Todd Bowles to get a winning streak going, or else it could go really south. No pun intended.
Yeah, nice. I like that. I guess that goes to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So mine, actually, I've been wondering about this for a little bit, but my discovery is, what did the GSH on the Chicago Bears jersey actually mean? Because I had no idea, honestly.
Okay.
All right, so I did some research, and I don't want to butcher the name because I don't want to get yelled at. Is George S. Halla. So he, in one way, shape, or form, contributed, played, coached, or something from 1920 all the way to 1983 to the day of his
Wow.
death, which was on Halloween. So in one way, shape, or form, like, he's always had some kind of contribution to the team, which I think was pretty cool. So I finally figured out that little mystery, so I was pretty happy about that. And that's why you see on the jerseys, you'll see the representation of his initials, GSH. So that's the one thing that I learned.
Respect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Have you been waiting for this, Nicole? Because
I've
you look
been waiting.
amped up.
I've been
Let's go.
waiting for 2 weeks. No, let's see if you guys can see it.
I can't.
Maybe you
Nicole.
can't.
Oh,
But it is to do with the jersey numbers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is, again, I'm going to take you back to the rule book, but not really, because I guess the rule book changes all the time.
That's right.
And in 2021, the NFL owners passed a rule expanding the available numbers and simplifying the number system. The current system now only has 3 different group numbers for the offense and 3 for the defense. These changes include the additional numbers of 1 to 19 and 80 to 89 for running backs. And then as well, 1 to 9 and 20 to 49 for wide receivers. Stay with me. These are numbers. 1 to 39 for tight ends and linebackers, and 1 to 19 for defensive backs. So that's why I had this handy little graph.
I never knew that, and there's no way I'm ever going to remember
Okay,
that.
I'm about to blow your mind. Guess
Okay,
what?
What?
Okay, I've been finding out the reason why, and I understand why a little bit, why Tom Brady has been struggling a little bit with, I think, a little bit of the new game. It might be because of this rule change that happened. In fact, actually, he spoke about it last year when it did happen, and he did not like the rule change. He said that it sucked. And Brady's concern is a valid one. He was worried about the new numbers making it difficult to identify which guys are playing on which positions, and the impact it will have on the communication. So I understand with blocking assignments and seeing who's available, who's not on the other teams. Now, we got 32 teams in the league. You know, if you are a legendary, mythic quarterback that knows the league, knows the people in the team, you know their number. And then all of a sudden, the rules get flipped into not knowing and then having to spend more time, even though you have been spent a lot of time and you know you have to relearn all of these guys. And for some people, you got to put in the work maybe to relearn all of these numbers. So I thought it was quite interesting. And they did say that this new NFL rule closely mirrors the number guidelines for the college football. And I recently understood Brady's fall into the NFL through college football, and that he was at Michigan.
Yep.
And
right.
he was 6th round.
Yeah.
I think 199th pick, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and he got quite a. So I don't know how his ties in with bringing back a little bit of college rules where that might hit a little bit of a point with him. But I understand maybe a little bit why Drew Brees didn't play great his last year. I don't know.
He got wrecked. Absolutely destroyed.
I know. I just am learning about these numbers.
Right,
and
you tried to bridge
the benefit of the doubt, okay? I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt.
I'm going to shut that right down.
And I didn't know that there was only 7th round, so I don't know. This line number, it's true. Brady has a good concern for having to relearn the communicate even better on the field. I don't know what's happening, but that could be a contributing factor.
Nicole, you know what else helps to that though? With those numbers, going to practice so you know where to throw your targets.
Yes, and reviewing. But that's what I'm saying is you have to take concern and know the people on the team and their numbers. So I didn't even know these numbers made it eligible for what position,
Yeah, I know
you
idea
have
either.
to go through and stuff. Apparently, who is this? What is this guy? These long snapper, I didn't know could be 1 through 99.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That just puts like a big wrench in everybody's plans, right? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to be 12. I don't care, Tom Brady.
You know that there were a couple people that actually did revert back to their college numbers for that reason. One of them was to honor their late father. So
yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Anyways, mind blown.
I love it. That was good, Nicole. That was really good. I got a question for you, Nicole. Like, I forgot to ask this. Actually, this kind of goes in tune with the week too, with it being National Tight End Day. I think what was it, last Sunday, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that was a day.
Yeah, no, I guess I didn't know that either. When are we going to consider Taysom Hill in that category? Because I'm going to be humble with this. This isn't my be humble, but
with Tom Brady, did you just put them in the same category?
No, Taysom Hill in the elite tight end category.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. For what he can do,
so close.
For what he can do, why is he not in that conversation? Because to be quite honest, I think he should be.
Did you know that Swiss Army knives were recently just invented in 1974, while the NFL League has been playing for a long time? Sometimes the discovery of a Swiss Army knife is new, and it's a shiny toy.
But really, like he deserves, I think, to be in that conversation. Taysom Hill, I think, should be. Like, the guy is actually unbelievable.
I still like to think of him as my gadget guy. Go gadget, Taysom Hill. He has to be involved with a bunch of these other. He has to keep up with all of these plays and all of these special teams. He has to go over. He has to put in the work of being at those practices. I like him on the third down conversions. Bring him in for those. He's getting more comfortable at throws. He threw more than the first game that he was playing as quarterback. So I don't like him full time. I like him bringing in for those weird plays and the third downs.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know, but you're right. As the weeks go on, depending on week 8, we might secretly convert him into a quarterback.
He's tried it before.
Yeah.
Yes. Listen, Taysom Hill, if you're out there, I got some good tips.
Come on now.
You never know. There's some other famous people showing up on other people's shows.
Yeah, Tom Brady. Oh my God.
Yeah. Hey, he's not going to practice. I mean.
Anyways, so yeah, that brings a close to our discovery segment. I hope you guys learned a little bit from watching us. Next, we are going to bring it into the week 8. 8 is my favorite number. So let's hope for a good one. Kyle, what do you got for us? Who are you going against? What are you going to do?
Kyle's got an L. He's got an L. That's what he's got.
I got to lead into this. Actually, I'm going to pull up the schedule right in front of me, because I actually think right now this is probably going to be the most crucial coming weeks, to be quite honest with you. So the next game we play is the Carolina Panthers. Our schedule right now, as it's ranked in the NFL, is the easiest schedule going forward. So, as much as Carolina, and I'm not going to sleep on Carolina because it is a divisional rival. Just like if we were to play the Saints or we play the Bucs, like, you never know what's going to happen in these games. With that being said, though, I do think we should win this game. I don't necessarily think we're going to blow anybody out, but especially, as, the weeks go on, and I think potentially we might see an appearance from CP. I think we're going to find out more so if it'll be a game time decision either this week or probably next week. CP. But Cordell Patterson is definitely on the rise to come back. And again, it's no hate to the Bucs, but they're definitely figuring a lot of stuff out. The Panthers obviously are too, but they kind of are settled in. They know what they are. Right. And that does say a lot, even for teams that aren't doing well right now. So this is going to be a very crucial game.
You're at a 3-4 right now?
3-4, and it's for the division. Like, our next 4 games are Panthers, Chargers, Bears, Commanders. Commanders. That's fine. But the thing is I'm going to be honest with you. The next 5 games are very, very, very winnable. Very winnable. So honestly,
not the fifth one.
Wow, we'll see. We'll see.
Actually, this one and the fifth one. Right?
You know what? You just wait. All right. Well, we play
I can't wait to bring you on.
Game. I might pick a tie on that one.
You picked a tie, right?
But no, I think more so probably than any game going forward for the rest of the season, this next game is going to be the decider if we actually are going to be a squeaker into the playoffs or not, to be quite honest with you. So I do think the Falcons are going to, as long as injuries obviously, help us and not hinder us, but we do get some of our cornerbacks back. Regardless of the defense, I trust our offensive line a lot more than I trust Carolina's offensive line. And our defense has actually surprised quite a bit throughout the whole entire season. So I guess a score, I'm going to say something 27-14 for Atlanta. I think we're going to win by a good margin, to be quite honest with you, but that's what I'm thinking. So write it down. Go ahead.
Write that down.
27-14?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like that.
Well, what do you think, Sean? I guess
perfect segue, Sean. What do you got?
Oh yeah. You know what? Listen, no, I'm not. Look, I'm gonna be very honest with you. We're underdogs in this ball game. We're not supposed to win this. I think last week might have been our Super Bowl, being able to not only beat the GOAT, but hold him to only 3 points. It was definitely a shot in the arm for us. But I'm gonna be realistic. And maybe reverse psychology, maybe a little Ben will help you out. I'm going to pick us to lose 27-23. I think we're going to have a chance to win it late in the game, but I think Mariota is going to play safe ball and they're going to be able to run the clock out on us towards the end. So I'm saying 27-23 in favor of the Falcons. We're going to lose this one. And look, we'll after that, we'll be 2-6. It doesn't get much better for us after that. We got the Bengals, but then we ended up playing the Falcons again.
Yeah.
So, again, we can look good, but then we got the Ravens, and then we got the Broncos, who haven't been doing great, and then we got the Seahawks, and then we got the Steelers. So, look, realistically, if you look at this, we can go win, loss all the way down the road, but what good is that going to do for us right now? It's kind of the same question I'm asking in Washington. It's well, do you really think you're going to win 10 straight games and, get to the playoffs? Or do you think you're going to be 8-9 and be at the 17th pick again, 18th pick, not really being able to get one of the best receivers or quarterbacks? Yeah. But at the same time, you don't want to pick too early and get somebody else. So
are you guys in such of a candle lit moment that you guys would be experimenting on some kind of cool different plays and different little sequences?
Look, I'm gonna tell you something my dad always told me. The most dangerous man is a desperate man. And right now the Panthers are desperate. They're trying to figure it out. Last year they spent a bunch of draft picks on getting Sam Darnold. That didn't work. This year we ended up trying to get Baker Mayfield. That hasn't proven to work. We're just grasping at straws. We got Cam Newton back a year ago. As you saw, we traded away CMC. Right now it's just PJ Walker, hey, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. Let's go. Whatever. Hey, what do we have to lose?
Yeah.
Honestly, what do we have to lose right now?
A desperate team is a scary team. You're not wrong. You're honestly not wrong at all.
So
very well said. Ben, you got some good words. What do you think?
Well,
8 week. Who are you going against?
Well, we're going against the Ravens tomorrow night. Big Thursday night game. Right now we're struggling, as you know, and our defense is going to be really depleted because we're going to have a lot of starters out. This is a game where, like I said earlier, it could go two ways. Either the Ravens blow it out or the Bucs blow them out. If the Bucs can offensively, that's been hard this year, they can keep up with the Ravens offensively, we might have a chance. Mm-hmm. But right now, they haven't done anything in the red zone. We've scored one touchdown in our last 2 games. Think about that. One touchdown. that was a Leonard Fournette touchdown, like in the fourth quarter. And all we're doing is kicking field goals. You know, this is a team that's too talented, too good, and you got Tom Brady as a quarterback that can't score a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's shocking, honestly.
It is. And, you know, so my projection tomorrow night, I'm going to go Ravens. I have to be honest, because even though the one, I will say this, the one thing we got going for us, we can keep it close to the fourth quarter. We know the Ravens. We know how many leads they've blown this year. You know, they should have a better record than they have. And also, J.K. Dobbins is out for the Ravens, their running back.
Yeah.
You know, and last week we let Foreman, we let Hubbard run all over us. So, you know, that could help us a little bit. We don't have to face a top running back. But again, Foreman had a great game against us, so that doesn't really mean nothing. So, like I said, if we can keep it close going into the fourth quarter, I think we have a chance to win. But honestly, right now, I don't have enough confidence to say that we can do that, just because mainly our red zone inefficiency and the injuries in our backfield.
You're doing a reverse psychology on a reverse engineering an L into a W, I think.
I wish I did, Nicole. I really do. I want to use that excuse, but I don't know if I can.
Okay.
Hope I'm right on that.
I looked it up. So I just looked it up. Tom Brady has only lost 3 games once in his career in a row.
Oh, wow.
So this would be the second time if this happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
I still think the tablet thing could be linked to reviewing the numbers.
Tablet,
Anyway.
the numbers, the refs.
You know,
the balls, the deflated balls.
I kid. I hope them all
The
are great.
wedding?
Robert Kraft. Yeah.
Right.
Why did you have a wedding list right now?
The one thing about getting to know the NFC South takeover is I really do enjoy your guys' company and your fandom for your guys' team, your loyalty, dedication. And I'm rooting for you all the beginning of the season. I'm starting to realize that it's coming down to a crossroads where we have to pick a winner of the NFC South. And I was joking about it at first, but I don't want to say to I want the South too. And I'm not going to give it up, and I am going to keep asking, and I'm going to predict another win. And I know I always say we're going to win, but that's how I feel all the time. So you're going to put up with a spicy Saints fan, and I don't think we all think like this, but I do. I'm picking 34-30 again. We're going up against the Raiders at home. They're 2-4. We're 2-5. Apparently, there's this guy named Josh Jacobs as their QB. But
running back.
Running back.
Yeah, he's a stud right now too.
Well, either way, we got a guy that eats sacks for lunch. So
that's Derek Carr. That's Derek Carr.
I guess you can't really sack a running back. Never mind.
Well, you could.
We make everything possible. We do things that hasn't been done before. So they just announced QB is going to start off as Andy Dalton.
Okay.
So we still got quite an injury list. Michael Thomas, Landry, Trotman, and Lattimore did not practice on Wednesday. So it's still sad to see a little bit of our all-star wide receivers out. I think it will be a high-scoring game due to some turnovers. Hey,
I'll tell you right now.
Do every game now.
Saints are gonna win this game. I'm pretty confident on that actually.
Yeah. Also, too, good to note that Dennis Allen's squad needs to help out. Dennis Allen has a history of starting out 3-4 in each of his first 2 years with the Raiders as a head coach, and only go to 1-8 down the stretch in both seasons, losing twice, losing 6 games in a row.
Wow.
He was dismissed after a 0-4 start in his 3rd year on the job.
Wow.
So Yeah, I don't know who to hand it off to, but my eyes are on the ball. But yeah, I expect us to win. I just think it's going to be high scoring. You know what? I hope though that there's no turnovers. If we could do no turnovers, we're at a turnover ratio of -10. The next one is -7 in the league for the Colts. If we could manage a no turnover, that'll be the winning key. That's all I'm going to say.
I love it. I do got a question for Sean, just because I know you're a Commanders fan and you are a honorary Panthers fan.
Let's go.
You now know probably more about the NFC South, obviously being on this show. Honest opinion, who wins the division?
The South?
Yes. Because I want a non-bias.
I gotta say, all right, it's. I have never won any money betting against Tom Brady. Let me start right there. I have never won money betting against Tom Brady. That 28-3, I was betting against Tom Brady. Yeah, we saw that one. Honestly, look at us. We're a dumpster fire. We're not gonna. We're gonna shock some people. I think we can get some more divisional wins, but we're not gonna do it. Nicole, I'm sorry, but Sean Payton, like you like to tell me, he decided to not coach, and he's in the booth. And then, the Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, who's going to do it? I just don't see y'all for doing it. Look, if Cordero Patterson can come back and he can be healthy and y'all can get some serious play from Kyle Pitts and Mariota, it's very possible that Atlanta could win this division. It's very possible.
I think it's a coin toss.
I mean, honestly, between the two of you, and just because Tampa, there's so much going on there. I mean, you already know Todd Bowles. You were talking about him, but then obviously, Tom Brady is on his own. He's doing his own thing. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So where football used to be a release, but now he's going out other places and doing other things. So we don't know where his head is at. Then that catch that you talk about the first play of the game where Mike Evans dropped that ball. I think it just kind of shows kind of where the team is just not focused. You know what I mean? That loss to the Steelers is just remind not focused, because Steelers and us are terrible teams. So it's a toss up. I think it's going to come. When y'all play at the end of the year?
Yeah, we're the last game.
I think it's going to come down to that. To be very honest with you, I think I realistically think it's going to come down to that, because I don't think you can keep Tom Brady down for long. But I don't think Atlanta is as bad as a lot of people are calling and saying that they are.
I thought we were going to be way worse than what we are. I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah, but now look, this is not a push up to Atlanta, because I still think Tom Brady and the Bucs are not going to be great. Yeah. I don't even know if they're getting 10 wins this year. Like, I think it's going to be a struggle, and they're going to have a lot more trouble with the NFC South, as you saw this week, as we go further down the year. So I think it's going to come down to that last week of the season.
That's fair.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Sean thinks that the Falcons are going to take it.
Wow!
I'd be optimistic. I'm optimistic. The only thing with going with what you said is I'm hopeful, but that final game, Tom Brady has a notorious record of rising up when he doesn't need to. So honestly, if it's ever, it'd be nice, because the thing is if it does happen, which is the next game, that will be the first time that the Atlanta Falcons have beat Tom Brady. That would be the very first time.
And that might be the one thing that breaks the curse. You couldn't get past the 28-3. On his potential last game of his career, you send him out, take him out of the playoffs. That might be the breaking of the curse, man.
Oh my God.
Well, I'm putting it all on the line on my fantasy so far. Ironically, I got Andy Dalton versus Tom Brady going up against.
Yes.
So, that would be interesting. How entertaining.
Well, that was good. That's awesome.
Yeah, you never know. I do think that we got a lot of entertaining teams here, though. I think our division is quite entertaining, to say the least. Quite surprising, actually, too, with the Falcons. I handed you the baton, but I'm still, it's still, I'm not letting go. I'm like, I handed it to you, but I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll see you next week. We'll see you next week.
Yes, we will. We will absolutely. We'll see each other all next week.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere. We'll see how week 8 goes for the NFC South here. I believe that's it for all what we got for you guys tonight. I think we said it all and laid it all on the line. Thank you, Ben, for joining us.
Thanks,
as
Ben.
well, Kyle, as well. Thank you, Sean Spencer. And yeah, I hope you guys all have a great Wednesday as Sean Spencer has had for his wins.
Yes.
Love it. Bye,
Take
everyone.
care. I'll see you guys all
Peace,
next
people.
time.
All right, guys. Take care. Thank you.